Well, welcome to the third, but it should have been first, really. It's okay. The presentation actually has a title. Let me just pull up the slide. There we go. Getting started with Community Builder, including Kunena and uddeIM. What I'll be doing basically, I'll be starting off with a Joomla 3.1 site. Could have been Joomla 2.5, but I figure we might as well go to the last, okay? Just a blank site from scratch, nothing there, no content. And then I'll install Community Builder, and I'll install uddeIM, and I'll install Kunena, and I'll make everything work together. Okay, I think this is worth your while. And I'm going to do this in 15 minutes, hopefully. Let's see. I'll probably spend more time just explaining. So I hope everybody's having fun. We're proud to sponsor this year as a community sponsor. My name is Nick. My partner is in Switzerland. It's called Beat. We've been actually associates 20 years ago, working in the same building, but we never met. We used to work in the US in Bell Laboratories, but in a building of 5,000, it's difficult to bump into each other. We bumped into each other years later over the internet, which is probably even more difficult, but we managed to do it. So I've been working with Community Builder since its Mambo days, basically, because Community Builder existed in Mambo and followed the Joomla fork. These were the other sessions I did yesterday, basically. Well, actually, that's today's. It's okay. All right, so a quick overview. I'll be using Joomla 3.1.5. I'm going to install it from scratch. I'm going to check the PHP settings. You really want to make sure that you can upload more than 2 meg, because some sites, hosting sites, allow you only do 2 meg, and you have to change PHP in the files. I mean, if you don't do that, you'll have problems with Community Builder, Kunena, and some of the other larger extensions. You won't be able to upload to install. So that's like unless you have the FTP layer on, which will bypass that. But I'll show you how to do that. It's kind of simple. I'll go through installing the Community Builder component. I'll do some quick configurations, at least some things I do when I install. And then I'll go through some Joomla adjustments. Have to turn some things off in Joomla and turn some things on. I'll create a default public user list, and I'll take a sanity check, see what's happening to the front end. Right? And I'll continue adding some features in Community Builder, and then I'll go install uddeIM, do some configuration there to make sure it works with Community Builder. I'll make some tests just to make sure everything works. Okay. Then I'll go with Kunena, and so on. Okay, so we'll end up having a nice Joomla 3.1 site integrated with Community Builder, uddeIM for private messaging, and Kunena, and everything will work together. Okay. So switching now to my local host here. I'm starting installation of Joomla 3.1. Okay, I gave it a nice name, admin, nothing special. Next. Just put my local host here. I might as well do that. Okay, next. No content. Start blank. Okay, so we all have a common starting point. Everything else is the same.
Is there a reason why you changed that to Joss underscore?
Excuse me?
Is there a reason why you changed that to Joss underscore?
That's my local host is like that. That's okay. Yeah. No reason, no. So I'll remove installation folder. I think I removed it. Okay. There we go. Okay, this is my Joomla site. Ready? Just log in, back end. Front end, totally empty site. That's how things pop up with Joomla 3.1. Okay. Now, next thing I want to do is install Community Builder. So, assuming I've downloaded it, just find it here. Sorry. Okay. Come on, I thought I had this. There we go. So it's CB the 1.9 unzipped. I install the component first. Okay, it's a two-step installation, finished. I didn't check the system settings. Let me just show you how to do this. You go System Information on Joomla, and you go here with the PHP information. Basically, just search here, do a Control F. I think it's Control F, yeah. And search for upload. There we go. So maximum upload. Go to the next one. Yeah, see this mine is set to 64 meg, so there's no problem to upload over 2 meg. If your website has something like 2 meg here, you'll have an issue. You'll probably have to communicate with your hosting help desk, and they'll tell you the method. I mean, it's usually just changing the ini file, but some hosting sites don't allow you to do that directly. You have to go through their help desk. Okay. So I've installed Community Builder, and basically I should be able to see here the Community Builder menu in my components list, but I haven't done anything to it yet. So I'll just continue first and install the modules that come with Community Builder. So I'll install the login module, the moderation module, and the CB online module. Okay. So let me see what I have now. I have, if I look at my module manager, I'll see three modules I just installed. Okay. What I want to do here is start with the CB login module. I have to put in a position, 7. Okay, publish it. It has to be public. You want it to show up for guests, so it has to be public, okay? Go to the options here. There's a lot of options here. What I typically do is I scroll down here where it says show avatar when logged in. I kind of like to set this to show always. So this way, once somebody logs in, they'll see the little picture underneath the module, and I can click on that to get to the profile pretty fast. So I typically do this after I install any Community Builder module. It's just a setting I kind of like. You don't have to do it, but I do it. Later on, we'll come back here and integrate the private messaging settings here once I install uddeIM. So that's okay. I just want to make sure it's available to all pages. This is standard Joomla things. You know, once you install something, you have to go through this process. Okay, so the login module has been configured, published. Do the same thing with the workflow. I have to make the same position. I'm just putting everything in position 7 right now. Depending on your website, you might have different position on your template, basically. So published. The CB workflows, I don't have to make public. It's really a workflow for people that are already registered or moderating. So I'm making this registered here. Okay. And menu assignment. There's no option basically. Menu assignment on all pages. So I have that ready. 2. CB online, same thing. Position 7. I might as well keep this public. And again, all pages. Great. Now, let's just take a quick peek the front end, what's happening. Refresh this. We'll see we have the CB login module, the online. The workflow doesn't appear because it's published for registered. I have to log in to see it. But I still see the Joomla login module, which I will want to unpublish it, right? There's no reason to have both. So let me go back here and turn off, unpublish the Joomla login form here. Okay? So that's off. So if I refresh now in the front end, no Joomla login, everything is CB. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the community builder configuration. Okay. First thing I usually do is change the name style. There's no reason to have just a single string for a name. You can say first name, last name. So I change that, first name, last name. I change the format date away from the United States settings here to make it a little more European. Okay, nothing else here. Go to the registration tab. What I want to do now here.
Do you have one that shows the month as being a month, so you
Excuse
don't
me?
get confused? Do you have one that says date and then the month in words, so you don't get it mixed up with the American?
I do?
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, well. Registration, this is an important setting, the first one. What I want to do here is I want to specify, yes, I want to allow registration independent of Joomla settings. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off Joomla. So nobody should be able to log in through the Joomla route, because if they do that, you're basically creating unsynced users.
I won't be synchronized.
Yeah, and there are a lot of sites who don't turn that off in Joomla. I'll show you how to turn it off. And they get spammers going through the Joomla. They know the registration URL for Joomla, and they just hit it there and they spam.
Yeah.
Because there's no protection there or anything. So anyway, I'm saying yes here. This is another setting I say. It says require admin approval. Okay, I keep this to, this is the default. I'm keeping this the way it is. Scrolling down here. Nothing else changed here. Okay. User list, keep the same. User profile. This is a setting I like here. Fields validation and admin. It's set by default to yes. I like to turn it off. What this basically is saying, if an admin is through the back end making changes, don't make him care about required fields. So if there's a mandatory field and an admin is editing on the back end of user just to change something, bypass the requirement for that field. Let it up to the user whenever the user comes in to edit his profile. Okay, so I set that to no, basically. And let's just turn the profiles on to everybody. So I have public profiles. That people do not have to log in to see somebody else's profile. By default, it's public. This is for demonstration purposes, basically. Okay. Another thing here, let me just scroll down, is it's okay. Next here, images. Keep that the way it is. Moderation. Let's allow administrators and super admins to edit other people's profiles. Connections. Let me turn connections on. Connections is a feature to allow two users to hook up as friends. Okay. And there's one more setting I have to find that I missed. Let me see. Here it is. Traditionally, before Community Builder and Joomla got responsive, we used a lot of tables. So this setting is basically to say that Community Builder should use divs instead of tables. Okay. So that's it. Saving. Okay. So we're not finished yet here. We want every component that we installed in Joomla, we have to create a menu item to the component. That's a Joomla way of doing things. So what we want to do is I want to create a new menu. Joomla 3.1 doesn't have it, for a user menu called it. If you install Joomla 2.5, you'll see that it has a user menu automatic, but here it doesn't, so we'll create one. Just call it user menu. Okay. Save. Great. Close. And we're going to go to that menu and actually add a new menu item. Select COM profiler, this mandatory profile, first one. And let's just call this my CB profile, or just CB profile. How's that? Okay, it has to be public. Keep it that way. Published. Nothing else to be done here. Save and close. Great. And let's just go a step further and create in the main menu now a new menu item for our CB user lists. COM profiler, user lists. Let's call it CB user lists. And keep that public. Great. So we have a user menu, but we need a module to show that menu in the front end. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's basically just go here to the module manager, and we create a new item. Scroll down, find menu, and call this user menu. Let's keep it position 7 again. Published, but let's make it registered. We don't want it to show up for guests because guests don't have a profile. Let's make it registered and put it on all pages. Great. What we have to do here is select, I can find it here, I think it's in the options. There we go. We have to select the menu, the user menu, to link to the module, the one I created before. Okay, save and close. Great. So now if I go to the front end, again and refresh, I won't really see anything different than what I saw, but right now I could click on the register link and I go to the Community Builder registration form, where I see I have first name, last name, because I made the setting before. Okay? It's kind of cool. I still didn't turn off the Joomla registration. So conceivably I can just type in the URL here and see the Joomla registration form. I want to block that. So how do you do that? You go to the back end, users, user manager, and then there's an options here, key. You click the options, and you click no. I don't want to allow user registrations from Joomla. We've already set the Community Builder setting to disregard this and accept registration on its own. Okay, so I save that, and I'm kind of all set. So if I go to the front end now, and let's just go home. Let me log in as an admin. Okay, see, this is the setting I did. So the avatar shows up. If I click on the avatar, I can go to the profile.
Where did you get the password from?
Excuse me?
You did the password before you came in, did you?
The what? The password?
Password, username and password?
When it's out to admin, it's
He
the
did it
admin
at
password.
That's the admin, what I set up in the past. Okay. Let's go to the back end now. Oh, there's another cool extension that we have. It's called, just find it for you. here it is. This CB admin navigation module. What it is, it's a Joomla administrator module that'll go and push the community builder menu to the top level. So this way, quick and dirty, you don't have to go component, community builder, and so on. And it's smart enough when you install other community builder solutions that have menus of their own, it'll pick it up. So if I install CB subs, it'll pick that up. If I install group jive, it'll pick that up and put it there. So let me just go install this. It's very simple, basically. Install as a module. And I go to the extensions, and I want to find it. It's not in the site module, it's in the administrator area, so I have to click the administrator link to find it. This is what I just installed. So I edit this. I put it in a menu position, okay? And the options, I select from display mode, drop-down menu. Okay, I go back, it's published, save and close, and we should see, here we go. This is what we got here. So it's basically a new menu with community builder items here. Okay, let's create now, then we have this new menu. Let's go and create a new user. Go to CB User Manager. Once you install Community Builder, you shouldn't really use the Joomla User Manager anymore, because you delete something there, half of it is undeleted from the Community Builder end.
Yeah,
But if you use Community Builder and delete it, it'll delete the Joomla part also.
I just use it in read-only mode. There are a couple of things you can do with the Joomla User Manager you can't do with the CB.
Well, you should do everything from Community Builder. There's no reason to go to Joomla.
If you want to sort things into a different order, I think you can, certainly used to be able to only do that in Joomla.
Okay, let's create.
Perhaps we should turn it round the other way and say, can you do it in Community Builder?
Let me create a new user now in Community Builder. So let's call this guy John Doe. Give it an email. Doesn't have to be correct, just jdoe password. Okay, it's smart enough to know that this address doesn't look like it's right, but you can ignore that. That's just a warning, basically. Okay, so let's save. Right. Now, if I go, I see the user here. If I go to the Joomla end, user manager, I will see both users too. Okay, let's go back to, okay. We created a menu item going to CB users list. So if I go to the front end, we'll see that my home page has a CB user list underneath. But if I click here, I don't have any lists to show because I didn't create anything in the back end in Community Builder. So let me just go and create a quick list. So you see how it's done. Basically, I go to here, it says list management. Okay, I do a new list. Let's give it a title. All website users. No need to give a description. Make it, keep it public. Include all the groups the way it is. Make it default. Let's just sort it by username. No filtering. Let me put the first column here, call it user. And let's show the profile image on the left column, and underneath it, let's show the username, and let's also show a little online status for that. And let's create a second column here called dates. Let's click here to show the captions, and let's have the member since date, the last online, last updated date, and the last online date. Come on.
Just a profile. not
Okay.
by posting.
And third column, let's just make this stats. And let's put hits and connections. Great. And save this. Now if I go to the front end and refresh, I'll see I have this default user list that I just created. And I can click on any one of these rows and go to the profile. I'm going to John Doe's profile. Okay. If you remember when in the CB configuration area, I enabled connections. Okay. But I didn't. What I have to do basically is go a step further here and go to the tabs management area and find the connections tab, which is off by default, and turn it on. So I click that. And if I go here and refresh this guy's profile, I will see the connections tab. No connections, but I'll see the tab now. So connections are ready. There are a number of other things you can turn on. One thing here is the articles tab. That basically integrates with Joomla, and it'll grab all the articles that a specific author has and show them in the articles tab. So it's a quick way of seeing who wrote what and getting to that content. Okay. So if I go and refresh here, again, now with this on, I should see if it's published. Hold on. Go to the plugin. Yeah, that's public. I don't see it because I don't have any articles here. Okay. I don't have any articles at all in Joomla yet. That's the whole thing. So I have Community Builder installed. It's integrated with Joomla. You can visit. I'm logged in as an admin. I can visit here a different profile, and even here we see articles here. There it is. I didn't refresh before, and I can set up a connection if I want with this user. So everything is set up for Community Builder and Joomla. Okay. Second step now. I mean, I can go now to Joomla and create. Let's just do quick and simple. Let me create a new tab. Let's call this tab Extra Info. Okay. Keep it the way it is. Save it. And let's actually create a new field. And let's call this, since you're into genealogy, let's call this, put it on Extra Info, and let's call this father's name. Father's name. And it's marked to show in the registration area. And let's even make it mandatory, required. Okay. So if I save this, I go to the front end now, I'll see that I have an Extra Info tab that for the admin is empty. If I log out and go to the registration form, I see right after the password I have the father's name.
Is that being seen by other people?
Is that what?
Is that being seen by other people?
Can other people see it?
See what?
The father's name?
I mean,
In the profile.
You can put it on the user list.
You can set that. You can set that up. You can set the tab. You can set up.
I was thinking more of these gentlemen with these different sorts of cars, and then if you ask them what sort of Jensen they had,
Yeah.
would that...
Yeah, you can set you've got the thing there.
Right now, this is the registration form. The registration form has to be
Yeah.
open. But you can set up the tab that I created, which is public. I can set that tab to have a specific Joomla access view. So it might not be viewable by the public.
Yeah.
It might just be viewable by other registered users.
Yes.
Or I could make it viewable by connections. I mean, there's lots of things you can do. Okay. So this is just a quick to show you how you get the fields in Community Builder. And there are a lot of fields types. I did a text field. It could be a text area field. It could be an image field. It could be a file field. It could be an integer field, date field. Name it. It's got it there. So next step is to go to uddeIM, private messaging. Private messaging allows people to communicate internally. No need to go from the email, internally in the system, okay? So let's go to the back end here, go extensions, extension manager. I've already downloaded the uddeIM version that is compatible with Joomla. It's this one here, 3.1. And I just go here where it says this one here and install it. That's it. So what I want to do here now is go directly to the components, uddeIM, and it's basically one setting. It's smart enough, if you have Community Builder installed and you install that, it's smart enough to detect that Community Builder is installed and automatically sets these settings here, user profile links to Community Builder, thumbnails from Community Builder, and so on. But what it hasn't done is you have to go here where it says display. No, not here. Messages, the first one, message tab. And where it says allow BB code tags, you have to set it to yes. The reason this has to be done is there are various messages in Community Builder that could create links. So you can have a URL with the name of the URL and the name, and it'll make a link out of it. If you don't do it, you'll just see gibberish. So this is just the only thing that has to be done. And save this. Okay. So uddeIM is configured, but again, as a Joomla extension, I have to create a menu item to that component. Okay, that's standard Joomla thing. So let's just go here. I have a nice user menu, so I'll put it here, because all should be able to send messages to each other. So add a new menu item. Find the uddeIM here. There's only one item basically here. Select it. Let's give it a name. uddeIM private or messaging or private messaging. Okay. We could remain published. Doesn't matter. Public. Public. Nothing else. Just make it sure. That's it. That's it. Save and close. So now if I go to the front end and I log in as admin, I should see this here, uddeIM message, and I see the message, the default message. Now, let me go back, if you remember. Let me go back to, I have to set up Community Builder now to realize that I have installed this nice messaging plugin. So I go here to the plugin manager, and there is something here called private messaging. I publish it. And there's a setting here. I just set the uddeIM. Save. So Community Builder now knows that uddeIM is installed and will work with it. Now, one thing I could do here is go back here to the configuration area. And where I have connections, I basically want to say notification message where it was none initially. I'll set it up to private messaging. So basically what I'm saying here is when somebody requests a connection with somebody else, inform him through private messaging. Because there has to be a notification so you can log in and approve or reject the connection. Another nice feature we have is we have a quick messaging tab. So I see this quick message here. Just publish this. And what this basically does, if I go to the front end, I'm logged in as admin, okay? If I visit somebody's profile, visit JDO profile, I have this nice quick message. So I can type a really quick message here. Hello, this is admin. And it's basically a one-click message. Otherwise, I would have to go here, messages, send private message, and it's a little more complex product. Okay. And one other thing, another thing that I usually do is I go to the module, the CB module, the login module that, where is it? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the admin site. I have to go site area. CB login module. And I scroll down. Sorry, I'm used to 2.5. Scrolling down here, I want to notify my login module that I now have private messaging installed, uddeIM. And I usually do this, I turn it on, even if no messages appear. So what this does basically, if I go to front end and I refresh here, I see this link here. So it'll show me that I have a new message waiting right when I log on. And I can click and get to it. Okay? So this is the integration now between Community Builder and uddeIM. Everything works together. I mean, you can visit somebody's profile and send them a message. You can request a connection, and the system will send the message through the private messaging. Okay. We've set up a user list, Community Builder. We've added a new field, shows how it goes to the registration form. Pretty nice. Next step, forum. And then we'll go back and review again. So we want to go here and install Kunena. It's 3.02 is the latest one. So I click upload and install. There we go. Close this. And we'll see under components we have Kunena. So let me just go here, the dashboard. Excuse me?
You have lots of packages you can switch to this point.
Okay, sorry, I have problems hearing.
Yeah. You have lots of choices of packages you can use, and you've chosen Kunena. Are there lots of different ones that work equally well with Community Builder, or is that the only one you can really work with?
Choices of packages for what?
You've chosen Kunena, didn't you? Is that
Yeah,
this
if I understand it, there's one forum. Are there any other forums you can use?
Which other forum would you?
No, just the question is it
Yeah,
is it
we
the only one
use PHP BB3 at the moment.
Right.
We're thinking of, well, sort of integrating it more into the main website. We'll be doing community build.
Well, that's a different story.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
I'm choosing
You're showing us Kunena
the
there, that's
Joomla
cool.
native ones that work nicely
Right.
together. And,
Yeah.
okay, first thing we do in Kunena, we go here where it says Plugin Manager, and what we want to do is turn on Kunena Community Builder integration. Just publish that. That's all. Okay, and we installed Kunena. We have to create some menu item to it. Now Kunena is a little different. We see that once we installed, we'll see it actually created its own menu here. But that still is not exposed to Joomla. What we want to do here is go menus. Might as well put it in the main menu, because even public users might want to see this. Add a new menu item. Select what we want to select. We select a system link. Now this is standard Kunena. I'm saying that's how Kunena works. You select a system link. Try. There we go. And it opens up external menu item alias, text separator, menu heading. I want to do the menu item alias. So I click that, and menu item, let's call this forum, Kunena forum. Okay, it's there, and advanced options, details, hold on. Link,
ordering?
Ordering.
Saving, yeah.
Yeah.
there we go.
Maybe it's the same sort of order.
Well, no, that's better.
I saw it before, so.
Target window. Something not right here. So basically I install Kunena here. Let me just log out. I have Kunena forum installed. I see it. If you notice here, forgot your password, it goes to the Joomla. This is the CB reminder here. Okay, and if I log in, admin, and I click on the menu, and I click on the admin here, it'll take me to the Community Builder profile because I published the plugin in Kunena. 5 minutes. Okay, well, I'm finished. Go back here, and there's two other things I want to do here, basically. I installed Kunena. I integrated Kunena towards Community Builder. I want to go the other way around. So I go to my plugins. I find the forum tab here, forum integration, and turn it on. Go to the tab area, make sure the tab is on. There we go. Now if I go to my profile and refresh, I see here I'm picking up forum ranking from Kunena, total posts. I have a forum tab here that I see the default post that Kunena has against the admin. So now I have my profile that shows the forum post that a user made. I can go to that post. I can click on the avatar and go back to the person posting. So Community Builder could take you to the forums of a user, the forum post of a user, and if you read a forum post and you see an answer and you want to see the profile of that user, you just click on there and you get back. Okay, I took a little extra steps, but I think it's clear that, you know, we're internally thinking of creating a package that does this for you. So it takes the latest uddeIM, the latest CB, the latest Kunena, and does what I just did with one click.
Oh,
Okay, that will be a great starting point, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it takes time.
thank you very much. I'm available for questions, you know, closer, one-on-one.
Just one
And-
from earlier, they were asking about other forums. Quite a popular one, probably less so now, but has been, is Agora.
I'm sorry,
Agora.
I can't hear.
Agora is another, Agora Pro is one of the other popular forum, user forums. Do you integrate with that?
Okay. Should I shut this off now or not first?
Yeah, sure.
Or stop recording, yeah.